We're on a list of all countries that have McDonald's. How did we get here?
Uh, what? A list of all countries that has McDonald's. Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of things
So
would you look up that would get you illegal fast food restaurants?
no,
Uh,
no, we've passed the trademark infringement fast food places. We've
You
already
wanted
gone
to
to McDonald's.
know which non-extradition countries also have McDonald's in case you have to flee the country.
In case I have to become a Mick refugee, I gotta know where is the best Mick country to go to in order to become a Mick refugee. No, so you, Mr. Tedeschi, you'd actually referenced a book before, Jihad versus McWorld.
I did.
This is not that book,
Not that book.
but it's a different book, and it has
it, is it the jungle?
it's
that would be
no,
another book. Very
no,
good, Mr. Kitz. Outstanding.
no.
There we go.
This is the Lorax, and so it's not the Lorax, but this
What?
book is called The Lexus and the Olive Tree. And in
Right,
particular, there's a chapter called the Golden Arches Theory.
right.
What is this theory?
Probably has to do with McDonald's.
I
I
don't know if
imagine.
you've been able to sense the theme for this episode. It's
It's a-
Mc-
it's a-
the
it's
title
a-
of this
it's a-
episode is McDisappointment.
we've
it's
got a
a-
mixed theme going on.
It's a symbol of globalization and international commerce.
Yes, this goes a little further though. I will give you the full title. There is apparently data that goes with this theory, and if you could mention anything about the data, that's certainly some points for you. This is the Golden Arches theory of conflict prevention.
Oh, okay. So this is if we get people hooked on McDonald's, they won't want to fight us. They'll want to buy our hamburgers.
Pretty much.
That's a great.
Um,
Is that
is-
actually
is Mc-
close to what it is? Because that's actually a very reasonable strategy.
No two countries that both
Yeah.
had a McDonald's had fought a war against each other
Yeah.
since they got their McDonald's.
Yeah. You know, now that you're saying this, I vaguely remember reading it or somebody talking to me about it a very long time ago. But there is actually like a reasonable explanation for that. That's not worthwhile just like chuckling about and throwing out.
Is
But,
it that McDonald's is a unifying force in the world?
But we're
who's working
here
for
to
world
chuckle about
peace?
it
No.
and throw it out is what we're
Ronald
here to do.
McDonald
Well-
is a symbol of world peace.
No, it's more that McDonald's generally are, in westernized capitalist styled countries, and Western styled capitalist democracies don't go to war with each other.
Once you bring McDonald's to a populace, a country understands that if you go to war with the West,
Yeah.
that McDonald's is going to leave.
Yeah.
And then your people lose their McDonald's and it makes them sad, which is similar to the time. This is pretty well versed, but it is a fun story, so I do like it. The time that Pepsi accidentally had like the fifth or sixth largest Navy,
military in the world,
Navy,
largest navy in the
Navy.
world.
because the Russians wanted to keep giving their citizens Pepsi, and they couldn't afford to buy the Pepsi, so they just gave them submarines and cruisers.
I remember this story. I remember reading about this. I knew this.
That seems fairly ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's
that's why it's
similar.
funny.
It's similar, and that's true. That did happen
Yes.
because that's how much their Pepsi meant to them. Anyway, in this case, it's arguing that a McDonald's is so valuable to the citizens of a nation that the nation will refuse to go to war against the West in order to upkeep that McDonald's. There are a number of critics who point out that this is wrong.
But do they have any evidence that it's wrong?
The U.S. invasion of Panama in 1989.
That'll do it.
The idea that it's a literal, like testably, like
Right,
verifiable
right.
empirical
Yeah.
statement is ridiculous, but the symbology behind it is correct. And the strategy, like it goes all the way back to like Caesar's goal. Julius Caesar says something to that effect when he's conquering the Belgians, make them accustomed to all things Roman, like as a way of making them want to do peaceful commerce with you and willfully kind of let you conquer them.
So we're talking McDonald's. We're talking foreign affairs, in some sense economics, if you will. There is another kind of famous tie to McDonald's and economics.
Ronald Reagan. Reaganomics.
So when you're looking to measure trade, right? Particularly like what currency is worth.
Are you telling me that people measure the worth of a country's currency by valuing the difference between the prices of McDonald's cheeseburgers?
Might I introduce you, Ryan Kitz, to the Big Mac Index?
I cannot believe.
Very good.
Oh my god! I can't believe.
So, what is a
this.
Big Mac costing in the United States compared to everywhere else?
Yeah.
Plenty of points for that one.
Let's go.
That is essentially what's going on here. Yes,
Oh my
is you
God.
have economists going, well,
Who's got the cheapest one?
what's the most sensible way to compare the dollar to the yen?
McDonald's.
I know. How much does it cost to buy a Big Mac?
That's incredible.
Also, interestingly enough, there's some citation here that suggests that possibly purchasing power parity, this idea that never will like two economies be disconnected from one each other in terms of like inflation and that sort of stuff, because the second that the price of one thing falls in one country, people are going to start trading for it in a country where it's worth more, which will immediately lower the value of it in that second country. So inflation essentially takes on like a global scale when you're talking about selling individual items. Purchasing power parity. There is some reference here that suggests that the strongest force for purchasing power parity in the world might be McDonald's. Because it is such a nationalized standard. There's debates over whether or not it probably is oil instead, but there are at least a few economists here who are willing to assert the fact that McDonald's is the one thing that's holding the global economy together more than anything else right now.
That makes sense. There actually is like a weird little logic that I would guess Coca-Cola would be even better than McDonald's, but
perhaps.
That is also global.
So,
is there a Coca-Cola index?
There is again, this isn't part of the hole we went down. Coca-Colization.
Cola-ization?
Coca-colization.
Coca-colization. Yeah.
Not a good word.
Coca-colization.
Maybe it is coalization. I saw
Especially
it
because it's probably like a horrible thing.
I'm sure it's a terrible
You've been
thing.
Coca-colized.
I will give you a few other good ones here. There is the Christmas Price Index is another related one. Anyone want to take a quick guess as to what that is?
Christmas trees?
Elaborate.
How much a Christmas tree costs in one country versus another?
Specifically a Christmas tree.
I was going to say fruitcakes, but we can go with...
or just like maybe a cross, a crucifix.
Wait, how much
Jesus is a pretty popular guy.
How much a Christmas tree costs in a different fruitcake?
Using fruitcake purchases from country to country.
It is based actually specifically on a specific couple items.
Fruitcakes and trees. We gave you a couple items, and
Santa
you looked at us
Claus,
like
fruitcakes,
inflatable Santa Claus, candy
stockings and peanuts. Like
crucifix. Crucifix.
Now, you looked at me like I was an idiot when I said
I will give you
fruitcakes a second ago.
I will give you this hint. It's specifically how much it costs to purchase a particular item and a particular number of it. And there are a couple different items and a number associated directly with each item.
2 turtle
Christmas.
doves.
Yeah, it's the 12 Days of Christmas.
Very good. Kids, you know them. You must
I
know
know
them.
that.
So, talking about Big Mac Index, there is another index that I'm coming from. This one's not economics, but it is related to another chain.
Cracker Barrel.
Very close to Cracker Barrel.
It's like on the tip of my tongue. I feel like I know it, but
Big Boy. I think I've seen one of those on the highway before.
No, we're not talking
on the
about
tip of
Bob's
my tongue.
Big Boy.
I definitely know it,
Hardee's?
but it's not.
Still pretty close, but no.
What do you mean close? Like some of the letters are the same, or like I've thematically landed close in fast
Close
food?
in idea. Close in ideology.
Golden Corral?
Very close to a Golden Corral.
On a totally useless scale of closeness, it's only slightly closer than Hardee's is, or
Cracker Barrel? What's closer, Cracker Barrel, Hardee's, or
these aren't clues,
Golden Corral?
Like this is just like you're telling us to keep guessing. I've run the gamut on all of the fast food places I can think of, much less any that are located mostly in the southern South.
Those are all the ones that you know.
Is it? What else is there?
It's
Pancake
the ones
House. What else?
Oh God!
Waffle House?
Is it the Waffle House?
It's Waffle House. It's the Waffle House Index. So this one isn't about economics at all. What might this be about?
Drinking, alcohol.
Did you just say it's not about economics? Guess what it's about?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
What other index might you keep?
BAC, blood alcohol content.
This has to do with like meteorological occurrences.
I'm out.
Weather.
Nope.
When you have extreme weather, what happens?
Earthquake,
People
tornadoes.
stay inside and watch Netflix.
What happens to businesses?
They close.
They close. Correct. So,
How often a Waffle House is closed to determine what the weather's going to be like tomorrow?
all right, I will allow you this much. I'll read the description, and then I'm going to work you through a little bit more. The index is based on the reputation of Waffle House having good disaster preparedness and staying open during extreme weather. So, this is a way of measuring the category of a storm. There is green. What does that mean? If
Everything's open, that's nothing.
If the Waffle House index is green,
There's nothing happening. Waffle House is open, full, ready for business, 24 hours, zip zap, top shape.
it means that the local restaurant that is, has power and has little to no damage.
Okay.
Yellow? Where would somebody find these colors? I'm just curious, like on what useful access point. Like if I were
I'll tell you in a second. We'll get to that. We'll get to where you.
Is there a website?
Yellow. What does the yellow Waffle House index mean?
It's like it's storming out, maybe some minor damage, but still open, still power.
It means actually no power unless from a generator. It also says some damage and food supplies might be low.
What food supplies? Waffle batter?
So the Waffle House, let's be clear, no power. It's still open. We're still serving people.
Well, obviously.
A red. What is a red?
Oh, red means Waffle House.
That's bad.
Closed. That's like Category 7 hurricane.
Red means there's people on the roof.
Red means there is no roof, actually.
As it says here, red means that the restaurant is severely damaged, not operating, or gone.
Gone?
Gone.
I was picturing more of the scenario where, like in the zombie movies, all of the people who survive somehow wind up on like the
roof of the Waffle House.
Yeah, the rooftop of the Waffle House. That's when you know things are bad.
For the helicopter extraction.
That's as good as half the zombie movie plots I've seen.
Listen,
that's
Waffle
true.
House is our fallout shelter.
Would like to mention as well that for each of these reporting colors, they do also have another nickname which is sometimes used, and we'll specify the who in a second. The who is the they. But green is also referred to as full menu. Yellow is also referred to as limited menu, and red is also referred to as no menu. So
it's like when they switch from breakfast to lunch menu, right? Like if you're the last one online before it turns yellow, you can't get like a hamburger or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's a Waffle House. Are they going to have burgers there?
I tell you what
they serve at a Waffle House.
Waffles. They serve waffles.
They don't only serve
houses.
Waffles.
They serve houses.
They serve all kinds of food at Waffle House. It's not just waffles.
Yeah, sometimes they have pancakes made from the waffle batter.
It's very good.
I'm sure they have caviar.
They got sausage. They got bacon. They got eggs.
On a good day they'll have eggs. Yeah.
They probably serve Big Macs.
Eggs are probably on the yellow menu. You can't get eggs.
You can only get it during a time of crisis. Only when the Waffle House is out of power.
And red is like,
because how are you going to cook a waffle on like an open flame? Eggs you can cook on an open flame.
If it's red, it's just people are in the kitchen helping themselves.
They just grab a carton of milk, just down it.
Don't you hate it when you go into a Waffle House? It's got a full menu. While you're in there, turns to limited menu, and then by the time you leave, it's gone. The Waffle House is gone.
It would be memorable.
It's disappeared. It would probably be memorable.
So I'm still confused. So if you are one of the average people who is entering one of these Waffle Houses, where do you find the color that the Waffle House?
Not on the Waffle House. This isn't. It's not like a Smokey Bear kind of thing where like they have in the forest, like they show you like what the fire danger is.
No, because
this posted in the Waffle House.
Because that would be ridiculous. Yeah. Go on.
This isn't. They have an open-close sign. I mean, I hope you'd be able to go up to a Waffle House and look and say, oh, that Waffle House is gone. It must be red today. I feel like...
Why would you be out? All right, yeah, I'll give you that one. That one's true. If the Waffle House is red, you'll know. But let's take red off the table and just say that...
Yellow, no power. When you enter a Waffle House and they're still there frying their eggs and they're running around in their little hats and handing out pancakes, but there's no power anywhere in the restaurant. Then you're on yellow.
I should have been focusing better when you were explaining exactly the difference between the colors, but now that you've repeated it, I've finally gotten it. So I thank you for teaching me about that.
When it's neither of those two, the Waffle House is in green. Okay?
Oh, God.
So what else recently, not severe weather, might this Waffle House index be being used to
I know exactly what it is.
What is this being used for now?
It's gonna be used for selling how many cases of COVID there is in that area. If the Waffle House is open, it's not spread that much. If it's closed, it means it's real bad. Stay home.
If the Waffle House is gone,
your state's not coming back, baby.
You got some tremendous issues. On March 24th, I have here Waffle House publicly tweeted #Waffle House Index Red. 365 Waffle House restaurants closed. 1,627 open. 12 missing.
Oh, I didn't realize how bad it was.
They didn't do 12 missing.
That actually came from like the verified Waffle House.
From Waffle House. Yeah.
And did people respond to that as
when
they
people
understood
realized
what that code meant?
Oh,
no. Here's the thing. Somebody has collected all the data and they've gone through it. And here's by date. This is the terrible progression of Waffle House. So they said Waffle House index red at 365 closed, 1,627 open. So doing some quick math, that's like less than a fifth of them are closed, right? But they called that red
closing. So
well.
It was like a
this is March 24th. But here's the deal. April 3rd, 38.9% closed. So we're talking the WHI right now. The actual Waffle House index was at 38.9 on April 3rd. On April 6th, I like how frequently they have to measure this. It's like you gotta update.
This is all coming. What's the name of this Waffle Twitter account?
No.
That's going on the list, Deaglan. You know that's going on to this.
It's on the list.
This is not where the actual idea of the Waffle House Index comes from, and the COVID-19 Waffle House Index actually comes from a different spot. We'll get to that in just a second. April 6th, it was 56% closed. That's definitely red. That's definitely in the red.
That's horrible. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that you're clear on this because I don't want you to weasel out of it in a second. You're saying that this was tweeted by the official Waffle House.
This part wasn't. The first one that I said, the hashtag Waffle House Index read 365 Waffle Houses closed. That was tweeted by the Waffle House.
And what was that fact? What was the one you just read?
This is somebody on Wikipedia has taken it upon themselves to calculate the Waffle House Index for the past month or two.
Okay.
This is important data here. April 8th, 70.6% closed. April 13th, 72.4% closed. April 16th, 78.6% closed. April 17th through today, 99% closed. I don't know how else we need to communicate to people that COVID-19 is a serious issue.
And that you
other than to say the Waffle House Index is up to 99%. We are on DEFCON 1 right now, guys. We are like 2 minutes to midnight.
It's the end of the goddamn world.
What I'm wondering, if it's only at 99%, does that mean that there's like a Waffle House?
Where is the 1%? Well, actually, here's what
Washington,
it means.
D.C.
We know there's
where's the one?
It's definitely Florida. It's definitely in Florida.
Duck, go. Duck, go. Where?
Go, duck, go, go, fingers, go.
We can look that up in a moment. There's about 2,000 restaurants. So if 1% are open of 2,000, that means 20 restaurants.
Yeah. Okay.
There are 20 Waffle Houses still open.
I guarantee you, if you get on there,
why are we not there?
The Waffle House people will tell you exactly where they are. They're all circling each other, getting each other's back, telling each other which ones are open. I guarantee.
So here is, I should say too, this is the top level article. This is where we started, kind of. There was one thing that I started. I didn't click a link from here to get to the Waffle House Index. I had to look up the Waffle House Index on its own. But I started by looking at something else, which referenced the Waffle House Index, and then that's how I knew to search for it. This is the corporation, if you will, the group that created the Waffle House Index and that uses it actually quite regularly. They're the ones who used it for the storm indexing. They're the ones who came up with using it for COVID-19 as well. Who is doing this?
It's not Waffle House.
What's the name of the corporation?
They didn't.
You're saying what's the name of the group that's come up with this?
I'm saying who came up with this? Who came up with this? Yeah.
I'm only afraid because it's actually probably like the U.S. Department of Agriculture or something like that. Like I'm afraid it's a legit group.
I want to give you the point. Almost.
Is it the government?
It is absolutely the United States government. Yes, an actual federal agency has done this. We're talking about monitoring.
That's hilarious. What are you talking
about? Monitoring disasters and severe weather events. Who might that be?
Oh, which agency? Like
NASA?
The, National Weather Service or something?
No, it's not. Okay, so not monitoring the weather, but like the effect of the weather. So remember, this is determining
geological survey.
How like after an area is hit by like a
emergency response,
or how basically how or after an area has been hit by like a hurricane, we can determine how badly the area has been damaged by calculating the Waffle House Index for the area. If more than half the Waffle Houses are closed after like 2 or 3 days, it's bad news bears.
Is it? Are you serious? It's FEMA?
It's FEMA. It's the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
Somebody made that up to make fun of FEMA. It's an internet meme, like they did.
I will tell you who made it up. The term was coined by FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate in 2011.
This is
following
some
the 2011 Joplin tornado.
Mr. Tedeschi, it's on Wikipedia.
It's got to be true.
It's like the FEMA trailer stuff.
It originates from 2011, when during the 2011 Joplin tornado, 2 Waffle Houses in the town of Joplin remained open, and that's how they determined it wasn't that bad.
There are 2 still open.
So what I want to know is that if you're in a town that's being bombarded, right, by acts of God, do you want your Waffle House Index to remain low or high? Because in part, you're like, if the Waffle House Index goes high, if they all start closing, then you're going to get aid from FEMA quicker. Because they're going to go, oh my God, the Waffle House Index is above 85. This place is clearly, it's on its last legs. However, there go your Waffle Houses.
Exactly.
Right? Then you can't go to Waffle House. So that's the question. is do you want or do you not want a high Waffle House index?
I mean, it's
After
FEMA
a
versus
terrible crisis.
food, so I mean, I'll take food any day.
So that is the Waffle House index. This was technically the first page that I started on, but I actually did start with a FEMA database where I then saw not even for the purposes of this game. I was reading something on FEMA, and I saw the COVID-19 Waffle House index referenced, and I went, "Let me look at this." So to refresh, in case anybody missed, we started with FEMA, an actual federal agency, and immediately went straight to the Waffle House index. Didn't need to make any jumps there. That's a direct connection. From there, we get to Big Mac index, and then beyond that, it's the Golden Arches theory of conflict prevention. Then a beautiful list of all the countries that have McDonald's and some of the ones that don't because the Italians don't like them. Then, of course, everybody's favorite, Madonald. Madonald brings us to McDonaldization. Back down to McWords. And, of course, where it all began, a good old McJob.
Oh, wow. What
a journey. What a journey. What a trek. This was I feel like we've learned a lot today.
I certainly have.
You know, I feel like if we went up the rabbit hole, like I feel like you had like a rope around my like ankles and you were just dragging me any place you wanted to go. Waffle House.
We'll figure it out. So, as far as points go, so I actually did have a couple trap answers listed. There's no point in going through all of them now. I'd be honest. I mean, this one was just, it was so broad and so really structured just for my own enjoyment as opposed to
rope around the ankles, dragged around the rabbit
hole. In the
hole.
future,
that's the name of the show. Dragged around the rabbit. No, just dragged around the rabbit hole. You're just along for the ride. Here we go.
Episode 1, Mick Disappointment.
Mick Disappointment.
This is such a Mick episode.
So we do, at some point, need to declare ourselves a winner. And in sheer accumulation of points,
the
cheating,
victory... skullduggery.
Well, if you want...
Any concept of fairness.
Completely fair gameplay.
Hold on. If you want to throw all those words on there, Tedeschi, maybe you should wait to hear the fact that you won.
Oh, that's even worse. I didn't get any points.
Before you could, yes, you did get. I didn't ding it.
I aced some of those.
I kind of stopped the dinging. Well,
what kind of asinine scoring system is this?
That's exactly what it is, an asinine scoring system. In terms of pure point accumulation, Tedeschi, you do technically win. However, you lost more points than you earned, so it is going over to Ryan Kitz with the official victory for this first episode. I will tell you what, though. Winners, it's great to be them. Whatever. I'll tell you this for certain. The audience was the losers today. Without doubt. My God. Thank you again, of course, as always, for watching, for dealing with this. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to let us know. But at the very least, we hope to see you in the next one. All right, folks. Take care. Hello again, folks. I just want to jump in one more time to thank all of you for putting up with this absolute nonsense, really. It was, as you could probably tell, a lot of fun for all of us, and I sincerely hope you thought so too. Again, if you did enjoy it at all, please go ahead, let us know, even if you just want to reach out to me personally. And, of course, if you would like to join us, I promise we would absolutely love to have you on. These guys are an absolute great bunch of fun, and I really think you'll agree too. So please, just reach out to me. As always, we appreciate your viewership and your support, and we hope to see you in the next one. See ya. All right, I got it.
Oh, you're not doing that.
Are you guys?
I demand before I go one step forward, I demand to know what was that you were just doing.
Contemplating.